I gotta choose between the candy with the nuts or the candy without the nuts. I'm eating the candy with the nuts, unfortunately.
Pause.
Or not. Give me that veiny ass candy with the nuts in it.
Hell no, man.
Not the glizzy candy, bro. No. On the cool, I would take Grandmama's strawberry candy over Snickers. I would that strawberry candy when you need a fix, it hits the spot. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't sleep on it.
You talking about the junk they be putting in the
one that's wrapped like a strawberry. Yeah, the one that's wrapped like a strawberry.
Ah, hell.
That is not that. It got that. So you mean to tell me you don't know that candy? It's sweet and tart. It got a little bit of
first lady purse candy.
Yes. The deaconess church candy. Yes, you cannot say that don't slap.
It depends on where they get it from, because if they get them hoes from the dollar store, this shit gonna fuck the roof of your mouth up. It's over.
I thought that man was talking about Tootsies or something like that. Or footy, whatever.
Tootsie slap, blow pop slap, Now-and-later slap when they're not the hard kind. I don't know why there's a hard now-and-later and then there's the chewy now-and-laters. But like I ain't trying to fuck up my teeth, I just want some good tropical flavors in my Halloween candy.
So you ain't trying to mess your teeth up, then don't eat candy. I mean, that's the whole purpose of candy. I mean,
I literal ass nigga. Welcome back to another episode of They Gon' Feel Me, where you get authentic conversation from authentic men. Y'all see the name, candy corn for your hoe. Hey ho, you want some? Come here, ho. Hey ho, come here. Here goes some candy corn for you. We back in here with another one. What episode is this? What episode?
52.
52. The Ray Lewis episode. Fuck you time out. Got my boy Alcy with me. Hey, we might. You never know. Got my boy Reezy with me. Got my boy Rob with me. And y'all know we bring the heat every time we step on the mic. You feel me? But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Share so your mama can see it, your daddy can see it, your auntie can see it, all the trick-or-treaters can see it, the candy lady from around the store can see it, the hoe on the corner that ain't take your money can see it, and we about to get back into another episode. Y'all boys ready?
Let's get it.
Yep.
What y'all want to talk about first?
Well, I mean,
listen,
I'm just saying, like, how can we not talk about, Ye, formerly known as KanyeWest, if they haven't severed ties with, he severed ties with Kanye, my bad, but and just kind of like a continuation of the last story, like the shitstorm that his life has devolved into, going from being worth $2 billion to $400 million pretty goddamn quick because of his slick ass mouth saying anti-Semitic comments. How y'all feel about it?
I mean, like I said, I didn't told y'all. I ain't got too much for Kanye, dog. I'm kind of Kanye out. I'm like, please stop putting the microphone in that boy face and put some counseling or some therapy and some meds in that boy face, because he got diarrhea of the mouth, and it's gotten to a point now to where even if he was speaking with a grain of knowledge, people were already written him off because of the nonsense that he said in the past. He's almost like, I would equate him to the boy who cried wolf. There's only so many times you can run through the city screaming wolf. A wolf is coming before people are like, man, get the hell on, man. Nobody listening to what you gotta say. They just look at him as like the little kid over there running around with a helmet on. Just
not the short bus kid. I look at it like it's like, I mean, of course he apologized to the black community for his words, which was some bullshit.
That motherfucker ain't apologized, bro.
And then
it's not an apology.
But what disgusted me was when he got into it a little bit, like calling the mother of George Floyd greedy for suing him. That just, it's like, even if I wanted to believe, okay, maybe Kanye is like starting to see the error of his ways, to double back and then be on some, but you being greedy. I don't like the fuck, like you lucky she ain't motherfucking like just come and two-piece your ass on the fuck up. Like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you glad the only thing happening to you is like you losing a handful of endorsements. You still get to be rich, and they painted over your picture in Chicago. It's like you earning everything that you get right now. That's how I look at it.
I mean, I don't have too much more to say on it. I'm really tired of giving that boy all this airtime, this airplay. I wish other people would stop giving him airtime and airplay. And I think the biggest thing is that it's not, that people have beef with Kanye. It's just like all these people want to be free thinkers and they feel like they can say what they want to say, but then they feel like there should be no backlash that comes from the shit that you say. You can't just hop on every platform and spew all types of misinformation out here and expect to not get hate back, especially in this day and age, right? And it's how ironic is it for him to go on the Little Drink Champs episode and say he can get on there and say anti-Semitic shit and Adidas wouldn't drop him, and then fucking less than 24 hours later he got dropped. So I mean, it's he getting everything he deserved. To be honest, if you ask me, he getting everything he deserves. There's nothing that he said that was right. Nothing that he said was warranted or none of that. Everything that is coming his way is exactly what he gets. So I don't feel bad for him. I wish people would stop listening to him. Like, at this point, I'm ready to go and take new Kanye and old Kanye off of my phone. If he got a feature with a motherfucker that I like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see him on TV. I don't want to see him on social media. I've unfriended people and unfollowed people solely because they didn't share too much Kanye. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing this shit, bro. Like, it's to the point now. If I see Kanye shit again, like, you in the same realm of Donald Trump now. Like, I don't need to see it no more. Don't share it. You share it, unfollow, bitch. Just that quick.
It's it comes to a point, and it's also a cautionary tale for people. But I'm pretty sure it's flying over the heads of a lot of people. But no matter how successful you are, no matter how talented you are, it's still great to have some level of humility, to have some level of down to earth, to have some people in your corner that are not yes men, some people that are in your corner that's not afraid to tell you when you messing up, not afraid to call you out, and not afraid to put you, in your place, for lack of a better word, without being afraid that you're gonna get cut off the money train or the gravy train. Because when you have a lot of success, a lot of times people start reading their own press clippings and start believing the hype. Where I am a genius, I am this, or I am that. Dude, okay, you're talented. But just because you're talented in one thing does not make you an expert in all things. You have talent in art. We're not going to go to you for philosophy or the history of the United States, or the history of the world, or the history of African Americans. I mean, so at some point you have to humble yourself and educate yourself, and be cognizant that I do have a large platform. So when I do say things, I probably need to fact check and make sure, I'm on my P's and Q's before I start running off at the mouth and spewing stuff, because there are people, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, people that hang on to every word that he says and take it as a gospel. And so there's a responsibility with that platform that you have.
I want to say one last thing for myself. Like, I will say that when, he got his social media taken, and then he started getting dropped. A lot of people made like a good point that like at first I didn't think about it until like it happened. That they seem to have let him say all that other stuff that was anti-black until like it came back around, and then he said something anti-Semitic, and then they made a jump. And my response to that was that maybe he like these companies, they didn't jump fast enough when he was saying all that anti-black stuff before he came through. But like I will forever and a day say it's up to us. It was never up to them to tell. Adidas don't tell me how to think. It's up to us to tell us how we think as a culture about like a particular person. We should have stopped buying his shoes, buying his fucked up ass clothes, or stroking his ego. It should have always been us, that to basically set the taste or like the mood of how we should like handle this person who clearly wants to think the way he wants to do, think the way he wants to think and act the way in which you want to act. And also another thing people don't think about is fucking like what would it look like if Adidas would have like dropped Kanye in today's world. A white company like telling a bunch of black people how to think, we would have there would have been enough people out there like saying, I feel different, I feel some kind of way about that. They were like these companies, they were always in a lose-lose type situation until like they just found a place where they were like, you know what, this we can't stand for, we got to make a move. And like as a business decision, I understand, but it's still up to us to like do something different at this point. So
I mean, diving kind of deep into the misinformation and everything like that. So we know Elon Musk is part to do with a lot of this Twitter fiasco with misinformation being put out, which led to some stuff that happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband. So what y'all think about the whole Twitter thing and how a lot of stuff can really just get put on Twitter? People are quick to go believe it with what they see on there. It's almost like people go and check Twitter first before they even look at the news whenever something happens.
That's how people get their news now. So, I mean, they're going to believe social media because that's where everybody goes when they hear something happen or when they see something happen. They believe it now. Like just when Kobe died, the first time I heard about Kobe, the helicopter crash was on Twitter. Or no, I was watching the stream and then I went directly to Twitter to see, if TMZ or somebody had posted it so I could make sure it was true. So, I mean, I just think that's just how people get their news now. I mean, and it's just that's going to be the way people continue to get their news. Is it right? No, because, again, sometimes you got to believe, what's that saying? You believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. So, I mean, people are more naive now. They believe everything that they see on Twitter. They think that it's gospel, it's law, it's, everything is factual, especially when it's a person that they subscribe to, a person that they get all of their information from and they, look up to or believe in. Then, of course, there's going to be even more true to them because that's the person that they choose to believe in. But as far as like the whole Elon Musk thing, I mean, I hope that he doesn't take Twitter to this dark place where people are saying it's going to go with all these, racial posts and, anti-Semitic things. And I mean, if so, we're going to be headed into some pretty even more dark time because it's already bad, but even more dark time. So we'll see what happens.
Believe it or not. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm not gonna say hope. It's already there. I mean, I don't know if you check like the Twitter timeline over the weekend, but most of the trending topics were actually MAGA propaganda. If you looked at it, and that's.
I did read something where they said like the use of the N-word went up 500% after he took control.
It's just, it's just ridiculous. People use the First Amendment, right, as and try to hide behind it for really hate, for really hate speech. And, we said this from like the first episode of our podcast, to now. You do have the freedom. You got the freedom to say whatever you want to say. But guess what? That doesn't absolve you from the consequences that go along with the things that you say. So if you grown enough to say it, or you grown enough to type it, you grown enough to accept the consequences that go along with what you say and what you type. But more and more, we're starting to see like just a radicalization of individuals, because I don't even want to get on my soapbox, but I mean, just keep it real. People are lazy. People are really lazy. Instead of doing your own research, you'll just see an article, or you'll see some, oh, okay, they shared this story, they shared this meme, it must be right, and just hit retweet or just hit repost without even looking at it to make sure, like, you know what, is this really, really right? With him coming in and deregulating it without really, and taking some of the regulations off and firing some of the staff. I mean, just think about Twitter as being unregulated, where no holds barred, wild, wild west, where people can get on and just say whatever they want, say whatever they want to say. We've already seen some of the possible consequences with January the 6th, because people, he used his platform to, I don't care what nobody says, he used his platform to help incite a whole insurrection. And now you have a situation where Representative Pelosi, house gets broken into, and her husband gets attacked. Like, where they do that at? What kind of country are we turning into, where our elected officials' houses are getting broken into and they getting assaulted because people don't like how the election turned out? If you don't like how the election turned out, guess what? There's something you can do. How about you take your ass to the polls and you go vote? How about that? All these years in the past where African Americans and even women were disenfranchised, weren't given the right to vote. Did you see blacks and women and other people going to politicians' houses and breaking in their houses and assaulting people? No. They protested. They protested in the streets. They peacefully protest. They got people registered. They took people to the polls and voted, because that's where you affect change. When you want things to happen, you affect change. And when that wasn't heard, when they did riot, it was once again in the streets. They didn't go personally to people's houses. They didn't go to the Capitol. It's just, we're just in a time right now that's just unprecedented. And I think social media and the deregulation of social media has largely, contributed to the upheaval that we have in our country now. So,
personally, I don't think this is unprecedented. I think, if anything, it's unprecedented to these generations that exist now, because we didn't live in the generations that our grandparents and before lived in. And then the advent of like technology, hence why we're talking about Twitter, is the reason why it has a different tinge to it. But like, I don't think this is necessarily new. What kind of country that we live in, this is who we really are. And I feel as if like the lens of that social media affords everyone gives an opportunity for people to kind of be their true selves and use the safety of the internet to kind of like hide you, to either, hide your identity and say whatever you want, and that's how you really feel, or give you a platform to reach out to more people, and you ain't got to hide anymore. It's like you can find your crazies, whether they're in your hometown or they're on the other side of the world. To give an idea of what we are now, like, I thought it was wild that, like, with the Nancy Pelosi thing, Trump's kid, one of his sons, like basically got on and said some messed up thing about like, here's the perfect Halloween costume for Nancy Pelosi's husband. It was like a picture of a hammer, and like, which I'm be honest, like that's kind of fucked up, but it's kind of funny too. But like, that's only because I got dark humor. But like, I mean, let's be real. Like 20, 30 years ago, we would have never, like, that would have been like deplorable. We would have like said, hey, no, not that. But that's not to say that like harsh things haven't been said that like were just ludicrously, outrageous, hadn't happened like 50 or even 100 years before in the past. I just look at it like, I've always thought that like, Elon Musk's reason for like getting Twitter was just a means for him to get more money so he could basically, I don't know, help build up his valuation so he can make, Tesla kind of like soar or what have you. But I do think that I'm not as concerned about this situation because although, yeah, I don't want hate speech to become like a thing, I'd be more worried if like all social media followed suit and then like said, well, let's just make it Wild Wild West. That would bother me more. But Twitter can become the exact same thing what Facebook is, the exact same thing what MySpace is, the exact fucking thing what Black Planet is. Eventually it dies, Like, I mean, a newer popular social media thing is going to come and replace it, especially if it just comes like a place for like bad ideas. As simple as that. Like that much I want to. That's the only faith that I have in this whole situation. That it just, if it's toxic, then it just dies, and then like the only thing to be left would be, I don't know, MAGA crazies and Instagram models trying to, support their OnlyFans page. So, yeah.
I mean, I feel like Twitter's always been. That I ain't gonna say always. It's definitely becoming that dark place. I mean, there's so much stuff that's accessible on Twitter to the point where it's ridiculous. I've stopped using Twitter a while ago. I'll go in there, I'll search for some stuff, and then I'll get off extremely quick because to me it's just I don't know. I don't have the interest for it like I used to. But I mean, I feel like hate speech is gonna be out there regardless. You're talking about women marching and stuff like that, I mean, you got to look at it. How many times have black people marched, for other innocent black people getting killed, and all they want to do is look at the riots that happen. They don't look at the peaceful protests that go down. They want to look at the riots, and then they want to bring that up. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to always take their narrative and make their narrative right and make our narrative wrong. So, it's almost like beating a dead horse. You ain't going to never get no action out of it. You ain't gonna never get no change. There's never gonna be change, and we're gonna keep going down this downward spiral that we're going down now. We're gonna keep seeing the same stuff that we see happening to this day. Nothing is gonna change with it. We can get up here, we can talk as much as we want to. We're gonna continue to see the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know why anybody is shocked or surprised by
this. Actually, kind of reminds me of that scene from like Atlanta on FX. Where you said like if if you want to know if somebody actually died, you check TMZ. If you want to know what's going on in Black People news, you look at the Shade Room, and Twitter. I don't know. I guess like you go there for like what Black Twitter memes, and now apparently racist white people ideology, and OnlyFans models. Maybe like if you want to see Blueface and Christian Rock sex tape or some shit like that,
I'll pass.
I'm just saying.
I will pass.
What y'all got next for the topic, man?
I mean, we talked about Ashanti. Might as well go on and bring it up. She responded to your boy ElonMusk, his Drink Champs interview, and he was dragging her in every interview that he was doing on that little run, that little press run or whatever you want to call it. But, for those of you who saw clips or may have happened to watch the interview, what do you think about what Ashanti had to say about ElonMusk?
I watched the whole interview. I mean, other than the fact that she my imaginary baby mama and she don't know it yet, I had to, I had to support.
Here.
Hey man, don't hate. Hey, that's bae. a celebrity bae. But the thing about it though is she gave a little bit more context. Gave a little bit more context to the story. But as always, it's three sides to a story. It's her side, his side, and the actual truth, which probably is somewhere in the middle. Because if you remember on Drink Champs, he portrayed the story like they were in love, they were an item, and this is blah, blah, blah. He famously or infamously tells the story they had just got through making love and she got up and wrote happy. And, when Angie Martinez asked about it, she was like, huh? Yeah. I was in the car waiting on my cousin when I wrote that, when I wrote that story. I mean, when I wrote that song.
I know what they say about that 3 thing, but I'm pretty sure it's more on the Ashanti side than my dick inspired like a national hit. Like, okay, Irv. Yeah.
The way never know. Allow my dick game, so.
And that's really what it felt like, man. Almost when me and I was telling Nancy, man, it had a high school feel to it, man. Almost like the guy he fell in love with her. And she wasn't reciprocating. She was appreciative of the opportunity that he gave her to write music, to make money and all that stuff. But it just didn't seem like she was that into him because, she said he was married and he had a whole bunch of girlfriends, on the side. But it just seemed like he got infatuated. He got infatuated with her. And when she tried to move on and talk to Nelly, he really got vengeful and really got upset. And the thing that came out of the interview that was really surprising to me, where she revealed that he sent death threats, death threats to Nelly. I'm like, God, dog, boy, what did she really do to you? You was out there bad, bro.
You surprised? A New York motherfucker, like they aggressive as hell for no reason. They wake up mad, so not surprised. Just imagine if this southern country girl ass nigga steal your bitch. You gonna be mad as hell.
Like she did.
But what she was yours to begin with.
If you gonna pick somebody like that's some real shit. I think I ain't saying what ElonMusk did was right, but that's some real shit. It's like I think we've all been broken up with, like from somebody, and not only did they not find somebody like you, they super upgraded. It's like this nigga is nothing like ElonMusk. He is motherfucking muscular. Girls think he's handsome. He's motherfucking. He's on the other side of the whole music thing, so he's the star. And he country and dicking down your girl. That just imagine that like it's just playing in his mind over and over again while he's just imagining. Yeah, like he imagined.
So take off on your
he imagined a country grammar stroke.
It's going down, down,
up in Ashanti, boom, boom. Like that. This nigga is seeing red. Nigga seeing red.
Definitely.
I need a tip drip. I need a tip drip.
He went out there stomping in them Air Force Ones, beating that thing for no bite, wasn't it?
I need two pair.
Oh, bro.
It's got to be crazy for Nelly because, like, they didn't even work out. It's like, why does my name keep on getting brought up? Like, I mean, it was something a long time ago, and you made it your everything. Like, which just is classic hurt nigga 101. Like you just.
But she also said something that I think we talked about when we talked about the ElonMusk episode too. Though is like she really thought it was he was doing it just for publicity. Because at the time he was trying to get people to watch that documentary. That Murder Inc. documentary. So
he didn't even have her in there, right?
No, she declined.
She declined to be
but
in
he
there.
talked about it. He did. I mean, he mentioned her heavily in I think it was episode 3 or whatever. But she did say that she thought it was a marketing ploy that he was using to get more attention or draw more attention toward the documentary. And I guess all attention or negative attention is good attention, which is corny though, that you have to drag a chick name through the mud that ain't messing with you like that no more. I just thought it was corny.
Agreed.
It definitely was corny. But hey, you gotta get them over, gotta watch the show somehow. So rappers do it all the time. Oh, my song accidentally leaked. Okay. All right. All right. My sex tape accidentally leaked. Okay. All right. Got it. Got it, brother.
Hey, one of y'all going to accidentally leak a sex tape so we can get some more views.
Hell no.
Well,
I ain't putting my meat out there.
Well, you see how that worked out for Nelly. Nigga getting joked on for having medium meat.
Yeah, your boy Safari. They drugged that boy through the mud, cuz. They said that boy cat dick fished them, cuz. Damn.
City boys, like y'all going back, man.
We just talked about not believing everything you see on social media, cuz.
Man, y'all gonna take one for the team when y'all drop a video, man.
Niggas that went to the supermarket and purchased the eggplant and put it in their drawers. Y'all out believing everything y'all see.
Using the wide angle feature on your phone, the motherfucker make your meat look like you got about 12 inches. You know you working with 6. You know you working with 6, dog. You know what I'm saying? Use that iPhone feature where it measures shit. But screenshot that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like get your name out there on some real shit. Otherwise, it's gonna be IrvGotti out here crying over pussy.
Popping them extends, cause they trying to grow. Gee.
Got to be more careful.
Poor nigga. Poor nigga. Hate to see it happen to him. What would he be without you, I guess?
You didn't do that right.
No. I got short meat without you. Like, I guess.
Shit, apparently he had it with us.
Oh my God. Little dick New York niggas. Let's move on. Ashanti, I'm sorry that you getting all this little meat. That's all I'm saying. You would think that you would be able to, I don't know, pull a higher class of dude. I'm sorry I'm not around anymore.
You know what they say? Once you go Mississippi, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
What rhymes with it? Once you go Mississippi, what happens?
I don't know.
What happens, Rob? Fucking Brett Favre rob you for your money. That's what happens when you go Mississippi, clearly.
Rob is SWAC, unlike Primetime, Rob is SWAC. So, hey,
speaking of who is SWAC.
I got you, LB. You SWAC. You want to SWAC that pussy. I feel you. Oh, shit. Oh my God. God. SWAC.
Rian gonna watch this episode and go upside your goddamn head.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Sorry.
But you guilty by association.
No,
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I didn't say that.
He did not say that.
I didn't say that.
He did not say that. I said that.
Appreciate
It
you.
don't matter. It don't matter. The confirmation.
We're gonna hit the
confirmation in your eyes.
Hit the edit.
Hey, we just cut all this out in post production.
I didn't say that. Look in my eye. Look into my eyes. I didn't say
this is deep fake. This is deep fake. I'm not even LC. I'm that dude with the horns from the January 6th thing, using the deep fake technology to be LC.
What this nigga just saying? When this nigga just saying? Once you go Mississippi,
Exactly.
just a few minutes.
Exactly.
Hey man, who side you on? Who side you on, old Dustin nigga? Who side you on?
Look into his eyes. He's thinking about his thighs.
In other news, Hall of Famer Deion Primetime Sanders, who's coming off of having ESPN College Game Day coming to Jackson, Mississippi, is still undefeated. And now Auburn has miraculously fired their head coach, Brian Harsin, and also they have let go of their athletic director. And rumors are, not rumors, but they will be hiring Mississippi State athletic director John Cohen. So people are putting or trying to put two and two together, saying, hey, should Auburn go after Deion Sanders? So what do you guys think? Should Auburn go after Deion Sanders? Yes, no, maybe. What?
I mean, if that's who they want, then go shoot your shot, cuz. I mean, I ain't got nothing against it. I'm like, if the bag open and that's what you want to do, go get your bag. I mean, it'd be nice to see him stay at Jackson State and build that program up, but at the same time, I mean, get your money. That's all I got to say. I mean, a lot of people are, they want to be selfish and they want people to stick out a situation that they probably necessarily wouldn't even stick out if they was presented with more money. That's just like a job, and you get a better offer, a higher paying job. Are you going to, some people would, but most people are going to take the money. They're not going to stay at a job that's paying them less money when they can get promoted and move up. So, I mean, I'm not hating on Deion. If they want to hire him and he wants to leave, then that's ultimately his decision, and I feel like he's done a little bit for the SWAC to where, there are eyes on HBCUs now. So hopefully it'll continue. You never know, what'll happen. But we'll just have to see in the future, if he decides to leave.
I have to say the same thing. I personally, I wouldn't mind seeing him stay because I do feel like, it's going to bring, he's bringing a lot of attention to HBCUs. Before that, you saw a couple HBCU games on TV, but you didn't see that many. Now, you look on College Game Day, or not on College Game Day, but you look on NCAA Saturdays where you got football playing, you see ESPN2, ESPN3, you'll see a HBCU game on there. And, with him bringing Travis Hunter, a top 5 recruit, to his school, it's also putting eyes on HBCU schools. So, he has the recruiting talents. It's prime time. He has everything. He can get anybody to follow him wherever he goes. Of course, we, as Black people, we want him to stay in HBCU school. We want to see him continue to bring that publicity. But like Reed said, I think you hit the nail on the head. And if somebody offering you more money, you're going to take it. I don't know a single person that is not going to take, that's going to turn down more money that can be paid unless it's a bigger picture. Of course, we don't know what his motive is. We don't know what Prime is trying to do. He could be he could say, I'm going to be here for years and I'm going to bring more people to the SWAC. I want more of our kids to stay in their own neighborhood, in their backyards, and go to school here, and you can still make it to the league. You never know. But, I say, hey, if you want to stay, stay. If the money's good enough and you what, soon as my son gone, I'm out of here, deal.
I would almost argue it's more so on the players. Than it is the coaches, because it's really the recruits, that to me ultimately make or break, that attention being focused on the HBCUs. So if you can start that chain of more top recruits choosing to go, black recruits choosing to go to HBCUs, then you still gonna have eyes on HBCUs, but that's up to the athletes, if they're gonna choose to go to those schools or not. More so than it is Deion. Yes, he helps, but ultimately the athletes have to decide to want to go to those schools and get that media attention on those schools. So,
I personally. Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I'll say, yes, I am one of the greedy ones who doesn't want to see him go. But I feel as if this is just like the conversation about Kanye, where I said, it was never up to the Black community to make a decision. It's up to just as much as it's not, the point I'm trying to make about that is that with Deion, as much as I want him to stay hours and cherish him, and I love the attention, the renewed vigor that a lot of people have with HBCUs. Whether he goes to another HBCU or goes to a power, like to fucking, I don't know, like fucking anywhere in the United States, like to another team, Auburn or what have you. Like, it's still up to black people to keep the tradition of the HBCU alive. It's still up to us to basically make sure that we send as many as our black kids to a HBCU. I remember when I interviewed at an HBCU, and they said, "What would you tell a HBCU student about going? Why would you tell a black student to come to an HBCU?" And the fact of the matter is, HBCUs still put out more black graduates than any other institute out there. True enough, like the numbers are stacked in our favor because it is a HBCU, but it still doesn't change the fact that, like, our HBCUs, they live and thrive on their alumni and our love for the culture and just our support. And we, if anything, hopefully another superstar comes along and then decides to basically put his time and talent into, like, boosting up like an educational program or a sports program or whatever, but it's not only on Deion, thank you for what he has done, but it's up to us to do more, to take the rest of the way. That's how I look at it.
Now, I have two answers for this. I have the HBCU alum answer, and then I have the person who, is familiar with how sports really operates answer. The HBCU alum, answer is I would love for him to stay, because when you think about it, when he first started, he had experience in high school because he wanted to go back to his alma mater, which is Florida State, and they wouldn't give him the time. They wouldn't give him the time of day. Mm-hmm. So when they wouldn't give him the time of day, saying you don't have experience, on a collegiate level, who stepped in? HBCU. HBCU gave him an opportunity to coach. Gave him the opportunity, said open, welcome him with open arms, like, hey, come here, blah 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 blah. And, he's been able to cut his teeth. He's been able to make mistakes and, trial and error, and was able to be supported. And now, they're reaping the rewards of it. So it goes back to, what y'all said about the motivation. He's talked the game about, I want to come in and uplift HBCUs and this and that or whatever. And my like, once again, this is the HBCU alum answer. If that is what you want to do, I say, stay, because, hey, you made millions and millions of dollars. One, from your playing career. Two, from working from NFL Network and all the various ads and commercial and partnership deals that you signed, and commercials, just a boatload of ads that you've acquired over time. So really, money really isn't the it really isn't the option, or really isn't the motive. So I really don't think that's it. But my question, that I asked to the other group of fellows in the group chat that we're in is like, when do we, or why do we always have to prove to other people that we are good? People always like, well, you need to go to a bigger conference. You need to go to the SECU. You need to. Says who? Why do people always feel like, hey, ours isn't good enough? Same way with people with Grammys. You need a Grammy to tell you, to win a Grammy, to tell you that you're an awesome rapper, or that you're an awesome musician. You need the validation of other people to tell you that you're great. Do you need to go to a SEC conference to let people know that, hey, I'm great? Or can you be that person that stands up, that leader, or that person that marches to a beat of a different drummer, is like, you know what? I'm gonna stay right here and I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna make this my legacy, because we have the Travis Hunters. And, maybe you start, because we've heard rumblings of other superstars wanting to be head coaches, such as the Ray Lewises, the Ed Reeves, the Marshall Faulks, and we see Eddie George at Tennessee State. We see Hugh Jackson. At Grambling. Who's to say that the next superstar coach doesn't come to a HBCU, and you can mess around and look at a whole HBCU full of superstar power, and it starts to encourage other kids to start coming. Because think about it. I know everybody loves Michigan, everybody loves Alabama, everybody loves, Florida, LSU and all these. But if I had my choice, you got Ray Lewis right there, a head coach, that comes to your house and says, hey, I want you to come play for me at Mississippi Valley State. You got Ed Reed, comes to your house and say, hey, I want you to come play for me at Alcorn. You got Chad Johnson comes to your house and say, hey, I want you to come and play for me at FAMU. I'm just saying, as a young kid, you got them cats come into your house and say, I want you to play for me. I can show you what it takes to get to the NFL. Now, which one are you going to go to first? You going to go to one of them, or you going to go to Nick Saban? I'm not saying you're going to automatically go to them, but that's a compelling argument, because you got Ed Reed right here, you got Chad Johnson right here, you got Ray Lewis right here, that's Deion Sanders, that's coming to my house telling me, I'm seeing this dude that I saw on TV that I always wanted to be like, that looks like me. And that's the difference between them and a Saban. This guy looks just like you. He's come from your environment, so he can relate to you on a whole nother level that Saban or Orgeron or none of those other coaches can even relate to. So, hey, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what's your motivation. Deion, what do you want to do? But it's great to have that option. And he said, hey, I'll be a fool to not listen. So, hey, ball is in his court. See what he wanted to do.
You can say that, hey, and I agree with everything you said, but you can say, hey, look, this person looks just like you, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But, for the people's parents, for those kids' parents, they're going to be like, well, yeah, you can go to his school, but they also went to Florida State, Alabama, Miami, the white schools, and they made it to the pros. So they may be the head guy in charge, but they got a whole bunch of them that look like you that can help train you to get to that point as well. So, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying you have to look at both ends as well. So I would definitely love to see the brother stay there, without a doubt.
Yeah, I would just say, and I agree. You made a compelling argument. I would just say, I would hope people don't hate him if he did decide to leave.
That's my only.
I feel like that's what people are gonna start to do. You ain't real. You lied. You did da 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 da.
You ain't SWAC.
And it's you ain't you. Well, you said he wasn't SWAC from the get go. So
yep.
And now because if he don't stay, then he really ain't SWAC, I guess. But he has eyes on HBCU, and like Rob alluded to, if you got all these other guys coming in, why does he have to stay anyway? If you got the Ray Lewis's coming, if you got the Ed Reeves coming, if you got, Chad John Ocho Cinco coming to coach, you don't, necessarily need Deion, because you got all these other guys that are NFL superstars as well that can, that can hold the fort down. They can come in and hopefully be just as successful as he is. So, I just don't want people to pile on him and hate on him if he does decide to leave, because he making a decision for himself. Maybe it's ultimately about his coaching career. Maybe he wants to be an elite level coach. I said the same thing when damn Calipari left Memphis. I said he could have made Memphis a power, one of the biggest schools with his recruiting, and we was in the finals, but he decided to go to Kentucky. But ultimately I can't be mad at him. He wanted to move on and coach at a bigger school. And this is the same situation, bro. You can't get mad if coaching is really something he takes serious, and he wants to enhance his career. Yes, he could do so at Jackson State and solidify himself, but maybe that's not the path that he wants to go down at the end of the day. And you cannot fault him for his journey. That's his journey. Yeah. That's his decision.
But we all know as adults though that no matter what you do, it's always going to be a segment that's not going to like what you do anyway. So at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for yourself. You got to do what's best for you. So,
but fuck Jackson State, man. Just for the record. Thanks, Deion.
Ed Reed, we'd love to have you invalid though. Come on.
Just saying.
Y'all know how we close this thing out every week, man. Y'all let me know what's the best thing that y'all have seen all week. Talk to me.
Man, I got it's so much. Well, I'm gonna start. I got a couple things. So
things.
Went to Chicago the last weekend. That's where I was born. Chicago is the state that I was born. I actually stayed there for like a year as a kid. Went to a private school, but I never really got to experience downtown Chicago or like the city. I was in the South Side in the slums, you know what I'm saying? So I never got to see. I never knew Chicago was that nice of a city. Like to me, it's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been in, and I would have never known it growing up as a kid because I never went downtown. My mom, I was talking to her, she never really been downtown, but maybe like once, so she never got a chance to experience it. But anyway, long story short, Chicago is a beautiful city. The building, the architecture is some of the best. It's some of the best buildings I ever seen in my life. And I would recommend, if you haven't went to Chicago, downtown Chicago, don't believe. I mean, I know it's Chirac.
I was gonna say you ain't see Dirk.
Don't go.
Did you see Chief Keef?
That.
Is he really a gorilla in a zoo?
Don't go to the slums of Chicago, but if you go downtown, you go see a totally different vibe. And then I'm gonna go to shows. Me and my wife watched this series called From Scratch with Zoe Saldana, and it's a really good limited series on Netflix, man. Really heartfelt series. Basically the plot is this girl, she goes to Italy, I believe, and she meets this guy who's a chef. They end up falling in love, getting married, and some tragic events happen throughout their life. The dude comes to America, couldn't make it, and he ends up getting cancer, long story short. So they go through that whole situation.
Why does it sound like a plot to like a Tyler Perry movie?
It's not. It's really not. And it's actually a real life story.
Oh.
So it's really good, man. If you haven't seen it, it's called From Scratch with Zoe Saldana. And yeah, it's really good, man. Like really, really heartfelt. It keeps you in tune. You watch every second of it because it's just that good. But yeah, so go check it out.
So my favorite thing that it's kind of hard because I've been watching I've been actually watching a bunch of old shit, so I don't want to bring that up. But I will say, favorite thing that I saw was actually the pause. By the way, the Creed 3 trailer. Now I'm only saying pause because I know there's like a bunch of oiled up niggas in it. But like, I mean, shout out to. I was just thinking about it. I feel like there's more girls that probably want to see it than like actual dudes who want to see like a movie about boxing. I don't know why, but
niggas want to watch a boxing fight. They gotta say pause.
Yeah, like I'm just saying,
pause.
Like, hard pause. But no, like shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I think this is his directing debut, so like that's actually pretty dope. So I'm actually excited to see that.
For me, I'm a reality show junkie. So there's a new season of Love Is Blind, and I've been binge watching it, and it's a crazy premise. And this season, it does not disappoint. It does not. It definitely does not disappoint, and very interesting. Very interesting characters. And one of the guys that I was actually rooting for, he turns out to be a turd. So I'm not gonna spoil it, but definitely check out the new season. The new season of Love Is Blind. It's pretty good.
Well, best thing that I seen all week. Pause. I saw the Cree. I'm just playing. No, man. The best thing that I saw, man, was God watching over your boy and his family, man. We had a shootout on our apartment complex. Mm-hmm. And literally, the shooter was right outside of our front porch. But we were shielded and protected. And you know, anybody that don't believe in God and don't think his blessings and his angels ain't watching over you, I'm a living testament. But if we talking about like physical shows and stuff like that, I have to say it's two things that I watched. Number one, The Watcher.
Oh yeah,
I watched that whole series, and we ended up binge watching it. We started watching it, and we was like, we're gonna cut it off, and we was just like, fuck it, we're just gonna go all the way through it. Ending. I ain't gonna spoil it because you said you're watching it still. Ending was okay. Kind of pissed me off a little bit, but it still made sense. But it's definitely a good show. And then another one, man, I know y'all ain't watching it, but the House of Dragons ending, man, look, all I'm gonna say is whatever Rhaenyra, whatever you do, it's warranted by your boy. I'm about to dress up and come and join thee. You feel me? And let's go after them motherfuckers. Because they didn't have to do my boy like that. He was just out there trying to live and have fun. It's fucked up how they did him. So whatever you do, I ride with you. Salute. But outside of that, man, I ain't seen nothing else on TV, man.
All right.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So we made it to the end of the episode. You have made it this far. We appreciate you for sticking by and watching with us.
Put Rhaenyra in the comments.
Episode 50. Rhaenyra, if you don't mind, go ahead and get this episode to watch. You feel me? Share it with all the Targaryens. Some of the motherfuckers fine. I ain't gonna even count. But hey, look, man. As we always say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't put Ashanti, because then you're gonna have angry New York niggas coming in here. I don't want it. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it so your mama can see it, your daddy can see it, your auntie can see it, all the hoes that want candy corn can see it, and I'ma pass it out on the corner like I'm passing out meth. And from me and my boys, we gonna catch y'all in the next one.
Yo,
What the fuck is going on this episode?
I'm trying
oh Lord.
to slide that in there like y'all ain't hear it, but y'all heard it, so my bad. But anyway, it's like I always say, man, if y'all didn't feel us this time, I guarantee you gonna feel us the next. Now get your undressed, unseasoned, chicken eating Halloween ass off my motherfucking screen. Boo. Candles out on their ass.
What's that, boo?
Hey, it's your boy Rob from the TheyGonFeelMePodcast. And if you want more authentic conversation from authentic men, check out this video.